a slide, where I stop and I turn and I go for a ride till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah, yeah. Don't you want me to love you?
What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40s. I go by the name Black Pegasus, and today we're checking out the one and only, the iconic, the legendary Beatles. And this is a song called Helter Skelter. Now, I've never heard this song. Y'all know, I just got to keep it a buck. We might have to do a little research on this one, okay? I'm only familiar with the term Helter Skelter because of two things. It's kind of wild. The first one, you know it, Charles Manson. Huh? Charles Manson. Yeah. And then there's a rap group called Helter Skelter. And it's like Helter, but with A-H and Skelter, A-H, right? Rock and Ruck, dope underground duo. And I thought that was a play off of Charles Manson, which is crazy. Now, fast forward to today, and my understanding is that Charles Manson was like a failed musician. And, I don't want to biff this. I'm pretty sure that he was, like, obsessed with the Beatles or something like that. And I don't know, because wasn't he a part of MK Ultra too? I'm not trying to make this a tinfoil hat YouTube channel. But there's just some weird stuff that went on with Marilyn Manson. And it's, like, I'm pretty sure they put Helter Skelter on a refrigerator after, like, some crazy night of mayhem. And, it's kind of blotchy. My buddy Don, who does reactions with me, and we have the 40-year-old FUQ Boy channel, he's all into like historic events and all that type of stuff. I just never got into that stuff. But that's how I know of this name, Helter Skelter. I'm kind of tripping out that we about to rock with the Beatles, and this is their joint. And now I'm starting to see maybe the connection potentially of because I heard Manson was obsessed with the Beatles or something was going on at some capacity. So here we are. We're knocking at the door. Hello? Can I come in? Hi. My name is Pegasus. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's get it started. Welcome back.
They tease him a lot, black peas on the spot. Welcome back. 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 40.
All right, you guys, the logo's down. The video is up. Please support the original content. If you'd be so kind, if you want to check out my other channel, Pegasus vs. the World, I do commentary over there. Reacting to trending topics, reacting to comedy, stuff like that. But all the music and the music reactions happen right here on this channel. If you wanted access to these reactions early, there is a link in the description to our membership. It gives you early access so you can have some fun in there. I update it every single day. Big catalog of reactions I haven't released to the public yet, but they will. They will. For all the people worried, they will be released to the public eventually. All right, you guys? We try to do 3 videos a day. I might slow it down to like 2, but as to the public, because it's just like very hard. My schedule's been kind of ramping up, but we'll see. I got you. Anyways, I'm watching this on the Beatles official YouTube channel. Please go listen to this over there without my reaction. What I do isn't a substitute for the original. I always want to, pay homage to the original content creator. So go listen, stream their music, do all that stuff after the reaction as well, just for that extra bit of support. Now, from the beginning of this track, we're only 20 seconds in. I've never heard anything like this from the Beatles. And I've heard so many layers from them so far, just from doing reactions. But I've never heard anything like this. So I'm probably going to look some stuff up in the middle of this just because the title Helter Skelter, and it's and whatever's going on with Charles Manson, but I don't want to lose the music, you know what I'm saying, because of some crazy psycho dude, because the Beatles are something else to me, and I really love Paul McCartney. I love all the members. I just found out Ringo Starr has solo music. I just started reacting to his solo. It's crazy. I've reacted to George, Ringo, Lennon, Paul, and Wings is just absolutely amazing. So not trying to fluff this before we start, but I'm excited to hear where this goes. So this is Helter Skelter. This is the remastered version. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more, and let's go.
When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide. Where I stop and I turn and I go for a ride. Till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah, yeah. But don't you want me to love you? I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you. Tell me, come on, tell me the answer. Well, you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. No, Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter. Won't you want me to make you? I'm coming down fast, but don't let me break you. Tell me the answer. You may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. Look out! Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter. I go back to the top of the slide, and I stop and I turn and I go for a ride, and I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah, yeah. But do you don't?
Yo, the music here is insane. I probably shouldn't have stopped right there. There's just so much going on. First thing that popped in my brain, I realized I don't know what the Helter Skelter means. So I'm going to have to look that up, but I don't want that to skew how I'm interpreting this. So I just want to go off the cuff. The music sounds like punk rock, sounds like metal, sounds like something hardcore, like hard rock. I don't know if I've ever heard them do this before. I don't know if this is the first time they did it. I don't know if they had something to prove to people, because when I think of the Beatles, I think of softer, smoother pop sensations, black suits and ties, heartthrobs, boy band. That's what I think. And when I hear this, I hear out for vengeance, out for justice. And I got something to prove. We going in. This is like, I don't know. What's crazy too is the Beatles were so ahead. I couldn't imagine like who this inspired, what rock groups this like birthed. Like this one song potentially could have birthed like rock movements and groups and stuff like that because of the inspiration that the Beatles have cast throughout their career. Because for me personally, I see a lot of the Beatles inspiration. I know he's gone crazy as of recent, but Kanye West, you can see his inspiration from the Beatles, from Michael Jackson, from Tina Turner. There's these you could tell these great producers of my time, whether it be in hip hop or whatever, they're inspired by the Beatles. But I hear something like this and I'm like, oh yeah, the rock world had to go somewhat crazy over this, in my opinion. I don't know. We're going to start looking some stuff up after this next stanza, though, because I have to know. First, I need to know what Helter Skelter means. What's the definition of Helter Skelter? Because I don't know. I've always just associated. I think I've seen like Charles Manson's shirts and it with like his face, and then it says those words. And I'm just like, oh, that's kind of wild. I just knew he was a loony. But then again, I don't know if I'm mixing up a story. I also heard like, wasn't he like they were doing like tests on him or something, like the MK Ultra stuff, or like, wasn't that when they were doing like LSD, like something? I don't know. I don't know if he was just naturally crazy or if he was made that way. Let's just put it that way. But anyways, kind of coincides when that's the only reason I've heard this word, that and the hip hop group from Duck Down. Duck Down, yep. I didn't even talk about the lyrics, yo. Sorry. At this part, he said a slide, but through the whole song, I'm thinking he's talking about ups and downs, right? He like, don't let me break you on the way down. Ups and downs, ups and downs. And there's this like conflict, like the music is chaos. And there's like this conflict of going up and down. But then he says there's a slide, and even going that up and down a slide kind of reminds me of the cycles of life. There's ups, there's downs. In between, it's kind of fun. Enjoy the journey. I don't know. There's a lot there, but there's just absolute chaos with the vocals, the vocal tone, and the music in this. Anyways, let's keep rolling.
To the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide, and I stop and I turn and I go for a ride, and I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah. But don't you want me to make you? I'm coming down fast, but don't let me break you. Tell me your answer, you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. Look out, Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter. Look out, Helter Skelter. So coming down fast. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Coming down.
What are we doing? It's coming back? These sounds are wild too. This is kind of creepy, actually. There's something creepy about this because of Charles Manson. Like, it wouldn't be creepy at all. Like,
I got blisters on my fingers.
that is insane. Holy sh. Holy sh. What are we doing? Helter Skelter. Let me look this up, man. So he said something in the lyrics that kind of got me, where he's going down. He's in the process of going down, maybe a slide. He says slide, but going down. And then he's like, then I see you again. And, I don't know what the messaging is, because, like, let's say you're doing a substance. There's uppers, there's downers, you're up, you're down. Or maybe when you come back to the norm, you see them again. But also it could be like just a bad relationship, seeing a person when they're down or when you're down, like, I'm kind of freaking out because this could be interpreted in many different ways. And there was some language where he's like, I could have sworn there. He's like, do you want me to, hold on, let me look up the lyrics real quick. Let me look up the lyrics. Hold on. Actually, chicken before the egg. What is the definition of Helter Skelter? The phrase Helter Skelter has a few related meanings, both in general English and British culture. Standard definition, adjective or adverb. Helter Skelter means in chaotic and disorderly haste, confusedly, never heard that word, or in disorganized way. Examples, papers were scattered helter-skelter across the room. They ran helter-skelter when the alarm sounded. Okay, got it. British culture. Helter Skelter is also a tall amusement park spiral slide that wraps around a tower. Kids climb up the stairs and slide down a winding path. Bruh. There we have it. So this whole slide concept. So culture references on the word make a difference. Wow. So it's that's crazy. What was the other thing I wanted to look up about this joint? Oh, there were some lyrics. There was some lyrics about break. I could have swore. Let me just look up the lyrics real quick. Like, do you want something about breaking you? Helter Skelter, the Beatles lyrics. Da-da-da-da. Well, you don't want me to love you. I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you. Tell me, come the answer. Well, you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer, helter skelter. Here it is. Oh, well, you won't want me to make you. I'm coming down fast, but don't let me break you. There's something there that I was just like, ooh, like as I was listening to the chaos, I was like, wow. Okay. For some reason, this whole Charles Manson thing was popping into my brain. Okay, I'm looking all this up right now because this is just wild. So this was released in 1968 on the White Album. Wow. You know, white kind of symbolizing like light and that type of energy. McCartney has said the song is about the rise and fall of Roman Empire. Wow. The fall and collapse of meaning. However, it was unfortunately misinterpreted by Charles Manson, who thought it prophesied an apocalyptic race war. This dark association gave the song a controversial legacy, but the Beatles themselves never intended that meaning. Wow, what the is this? That's insanity. That is really insanity. Hold on, let me look this up. Okay, so I was a little bit right. Charles Manson was a failed musician and cult leader in the late 1960s who gathered a group of devoted followers, vulnerable people called the Manson family, who obsessed with the Beatles. Oh, he was obsessed with the Beatles, believing their music contained coded messages just for him. Is there any association with Charles Manson and MK Ultra? Oh, wow. Yes, there's long-standing speculation and conspiracy theory around. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. No conspiracies on this channel. Maybe on the other channel. Yo, but not here. Music brings us all together, you guys. That's what it does. I ain't here to be divisive. But whoa! We just got hit with Helter Skelter from the Beatles. And I think they probably changed the game with that one. Right? With the impact they had, the momentum they had, the timing, the sound, everything. And we just got hit with that from a boy band, from a pop icon sensations. I mean, they're more than a boy band, bro. They're legendary musicians. There's probably so much more I need to know about that song. I'm going to do a dive after this. But for my first time reaction to it, first time interpretation, you guys got it right there. Loved it. I love the chaos, but I kind of scary, man. When they start talking about Manson, I'm like, whoa, hold up, baby. Anyways, I don't know, kind of gets you amped. It's kind of like the feeling before you're about to do something very high octane, you know, something dangerous. Anyways, let me know what I got, what I missed. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. FUQ boy.